Um, Now, well, let me get to the question of absolute truth. So, like, we find different types of views even within the agamas. Let's say I'm bringing it to Kalikula's case because in Bengal we have the same. It's a new text, but it also explains a lot of things. If we see the evolution, it's a living culture. We have the Trikas view of Kali, Kalsam Kashini, and I think like the Kalikula Panchashika, that uh, the one that was published by your student Madhav Lami Chaneji, where it is Yam Shantaka Agniko Harostita Bhas Swarupam, that form has a lot of similarities. Then we have a text like Shaktananda Tarangini, where Kali has been compared with Paraprakriti, and they are taking the 25 tattvas of Shankya. Then we have a doctrine where they're saying is Kali is Adya Shakti and she is the Srishtikartri giving birth to three. Now it happens that there are, if we see it, there is one truth that is supposedly Vishitadvaita, somewhere it is Advaita, somewhere it is Dvaita. Now what is happening over here, the doubt comes is, even we find people who are aligning themselves into Buddhism, and it again comes from the traditional practices and the living traditions. Now it creates a normal confusion in the minds of any sadhak or seeker who gets into this journey. Is there any absolute truth that has been given in Tantra which one should, so, or is it a truth that one explores? Like, can one say that there is anything as absolute truth, or it is better not to say that and better to explore when someone is getting into the journey of sadhana and especially the yogic practices?
In the Sarvāmnāya that I'm initiated into, all these philosophies constitute a hierarchy, and there is a validity to every single philosophy in a relative sense. Materialism, Charvaka, worshipped in the Bhupura Chakra, for example, materialism is not absolutely false. How can we say materialism does not count? We want to enjoy food, I love food, we want to enjoy sex, and we want to enjoy wealth and prosperity, and then we say, oh, this is just Maya, Mithya. That's just hypocrisy. And Tantra doesn't like hypocrisy. Okay? Yeah. So, therefore, we have to say that there is some sense of validity even for pure materialism. What we say that, is there for that absolute truth? No. Then what we mean is that materialism cannot answer many of our questions. And then we go to Sankhya, or we go to some other philosophies, and then we climb all the way to, for example, Vijnanavada, the Yogacara philosophy. What do we find there? The mind only is school. Everything of the external reality boils down to the mind. And then we find a deeper reality of the mind there, and then we question everything being momentary. And does it answer every question we have? It still does not answer all of our questions. And then we seek for something more foundational. And then we will eventually go to Trika, and we will eventually go to Mahartha. But that doesn't mean that to understand Mahartha, to understand Trika, is not to negate the physicalism taught by Charvakas. It is, in the relative sense, we need those philosophies to guide us to live our life in normal everyday sense. But, and then in the absolute sense, is there something absolute? Yes, we are not a relativist in the absolute sense again, because there is something as foundational reality. Pure consciousness is foundational to us. It is spontaneous, and it has this spontaneity that constitutes the reality. It transforms into or emanates into our everyday reality. There is nothing that is expunged of this absolute reality, and we adhere to the principle of the freedom constituted within this spontaneity, and that to us you can consider is some form of absolutism. And I stick by it. We are not really in deconstructionist sense of there is no truth at all. No, that would be a lie. Yes, Tantra deconstructs all these dogmas, but then why not you deconstruct this very deconstruction? This is this new way of foundationless, baseless argumentation. Therefore, in classical Indian debate system, we excluded those logicians who did not want to have any position, any premise of their own pratigya. So, if you want to argue against me, that's fine. But you have to say something of your own position. You cannot say, I have nothing, there is no position at all, I just want to, argue for the sake of argument. So, we have used logic to refine our categories. We have not used logic only to be deconstructive. You see, we are not trying to construct anything out of logic. We are just simply trying to use logic so that we can analyze what is given to our consciousness. It's very much a phenomenological project. But then, why do you even not question that, your experience? Then, okay, fine. Then what next? Then nothing to be relied on. Then what next? This anarchism in philosophy for us, philosophy is therapeutic. We are not doing philosophy for the sake of philosophy. For us, philosophy has a goal. That is what we call liberation. It has to grant us freedom. It has to grant us moksha. That is a goal. It is not that we are doing philosophy so that we can be smart, to reject everybody's idea and feel good about how much we are able to reject everybody's idea. So you go to the court and you are hired by a party, and then you are willing to debate on their behalf. That's not philosophy. We have a position. A lawyer doesn't have a position. Lawyer has the position for the guy that hires him. That is the difference between doing darsana from our perspective and then simply having logic for the sake of logic.